Joe Rogan has entered the chat. Who has not entered the chat when it comes to these two? And this crazy story of Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, and Ryan Reynolds, because Joe Rogan has officially blasted Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruining your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit. And they're like, you were a key part of this.
Joe Rogan becomes the latest celebrity to blast Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Hollywood loves its golden couples. Those picture-perfect relationships that seem too good to be true. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have long been hailed as one of the industry's most beloved duos, admired for their humor charm and seemingly flawless marriage. But what if that perfect image is just a carefully orchestrated illusion?
How's it going?
Great. Hi, what have you heard?
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are all smiles into their ongoing legal battle. On Sunday night, the couple attended the SNL 50, the anniversary special in New York City, posing for photos on the red carpet. For the event, Blake wore a silver gown that featured flowers, while her husband wore a classic tuxedo. Following the carpet, Ryan and Blake also made a cameo in the live special.
Enter Joe Rogan, the brutally honest, no-nonsense podcast king who never shies away from controversial topics. His latest target, none other than Blake and Ryan. In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan dropped a bombshell about the couple, calling their marriage a calculated PR stunt and hinting that the power duo might not be as authentic as they appear. But why did he go after them now? And more importantly, is there any truth to his claims?
Is the latest personality celebrity to come forward and defend sweet Justin Baldoni, calling out Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, saying they effed up. Joe's spot on. Brandon and Joe are spot on, and it's just encouraging to see more big personalities, outlets, celebrities just talking about it realistically and not the way Blake and Hollywood is trying to spin it, which a lot of Hollywood are. Now, clearly, Joe's not afraid. He says what he wants. He always has. But still, it's still a massive, big platform. And to see him out there talking about it honestly and actually sharing the proper facts can't help Blake and Ryan. They must not like seeing such big personalities and people with so much sway.
As the internet erupts in debate, Hollywood insiders and other celebrities are stepping into the conversation, making this one of the most talked about controversies of the year. Let's dive deep into this drama, the accusations and what this could mean for the future of Hollywood's golden couple.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake being there. Why were they there? They were there because I think they both hosted. If you have hosted, you are invited. You can come to any of those events, correct?
Yes, and of course, we all know this, whatever. I don't do a deep dive on it, but there's some kind of legal action with some actor, Baldino's. It sounds like some kind of pasta place.
The context, though, if it turns out that Blake Lively made up all of her harassment complaints. So, I mean, imagine if it was reversed where you could only, you can deep dive into it, but that's obviously why the nuance there of why people were like, yikes.
Joe Rogan is not one to mince words, and when he brought up Blake and Ryan, his tone was anything but lighthearted. He pointed out something that many people may not have noticed before, how their marriage often seems to make headlines at just the right moments.
You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruining your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit. And they're like, you were a key part of this.
This is what you get, though. This is what you get. You're trying to ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement.
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise. The whole thing's crazy. And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case.
He's going hard in the paint. But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
According to Rogan, whenever Ryan has a film that's underperforming or when the couple wants to stay in the public eye, suddenly there's a new viral story about their relationship. Whether it's a playful Twitter exchange or a heartwarming red carpet moment, the timing of these stories seems almost too convenient. Rogan suggested that their carefully curated couple goals image is a well-oiled PR machine designed to maintain their relevance in Hollywood.
Yeah, especially a guy like that who's like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right,
Dude,
enough.
he posted the receipts.
Oh,
He's like, oh,
it's
remember
great.
our tech exchange?
How about she told him to, to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding?
They're fun.
And then part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it, because everyone usually just bows
Because everyone's
down.
scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds A-list, Blake Lively A-list. Like, don't.
But that wasn't the only thing he called out. He also took aim at Blake Lively's girl next door persona, implying that the actress isn't as sweet as she appears online. According to Rogan, she has a reputation for being highly controlling on set and keeping a tight grip on the narrative surrounding her career. You don't see her hanging out with a lot of A-list Hollywood women. Rogan pointed out, that's not by accident. As for Ryan Reynolds, Rogan suggested that his nice guy image might be a facade. Deadpool is not just a character, it's his shield. Rogan claimed, behind the scenes, he's a businessman first and foremost. You don't build a multi-million-dollar empire by just being funny and lovable. These comments sent shockwaves through Hollywood, with social media erupting in debates over whether Rogan was exposing hidden truths or simply stirring the pot.
Well, guys, Joe Rogan has now made it clear what side he is on in the Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds versus Justin Baldoni of it all. In the most recent episode of his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, he called Justin Baldoni sweet. He says they effed up, referring to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. He says that Ryan Reynolds is now trying to get out of it. And they're just like, dude, like, you're a key player in this. You can't just get out of this. And he also says they ruin their reputation. So
Because Joe Rogan has officially blasted Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, welcome to the club, for suing sweet Justin Baldoni. He says they effed up. He mentioned this on his podcast on Saturday. The best part about it is that he did this with 3 other guys in a room while they were watching boxing. It's the best guys podcast moment ever. Check it out. 4 guys sitting around watching boxing, eating snacks, drinking sodas, whatever, and talking about real life things. Because these are men who could easily have been in the same position as Justin Baldoni. And they're saying that no one ever fights back because it's the machine. It's Justin Baldoni versus the machine of Hollywood. Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively. And the thing is, using that Me Too movement, which is a woman using the words sexual assault or sexual harassment, everyone bows down. They're like, we can't fight back. But Justin Baldoni said, "No, not this time. I've got the receipts to prove it."
The fallout from Rogan's comments was immediate. Within hours, Twitter and Instagram became battlegrounds between those who supported Rogan's claims and those who defended Blake and Ryan. But what truly escalated the situation was how other celebrities began weighing in. One of the first people to speak up was Hugh Jackman, who has had a well-documented friendship with Ryan Reynolds. In a subtle but clear statement, Jackman posted a throwback picture of himself and Ryan with the caption, "Some friendships are built on honesty and loyalty." While he didn't directly address Rogan's comments, fans took it as a clear show of support for Reynolds.
Is your chair like higher than mine? Your chair looks like...
Yeah.
It does.
What, does that matter?
I actually need the taller chair because I have a short torso. That's true. I actually have I'm 6'2", but
Oh my God, I'm so bored right now.
it's
No,
just a little thing. I've had to deal with this my whole life. Oh my God, where are you going? What?
Please,
What are you doing?
Yeah, look,
Dude, we got a job. What did you...
easy. Okay, can I just get a little light, like piano PSA kind of music here for a second? That's nice. That's nice. We hear so much about afflictions like obesity, stage 6 tuberculosis, but there is an ailment that doesn't get enough attention. And that's TTS, tiny torso syndrome. Do you know that 1 in every Hugh Jackman suffers from this disorder? Yes, he is a world-famous millionaire who sleeps on 16,000 thread count Giza cotton sheets. But that doesn't mean he doesn't feel. So if you see him and you can breach his 6-person security team, don't say, "Hey man, why is your belt chafing your nipples?"
On the other hand, a well-known Hollywood producer anonymously told Variety that Rogan wasn't entirely wrong. Ryan and Blake have one of the most controlled brands in Hollywood. The producer revealed, everything they do, every spontaneous social media post, it's all part of a bigger strategy.
Giving it to you. Why and how do big PR companies or celebrities control social media platforms such as Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube? This is something we've been seeing a lot of, right? Content creators constantly saying, I'm being suppressed. I have experienced that on my own platforms. And, I got a comment yesterday saying, well, I don't think it's happening to you because you have a smaller account or you don't have a huge following. That doesn't matter at all. And I'm going to show you guys why it doesn't. And this is literally my zone of genius. This is what I do for a living. So understanding how this is done is important for me because it impacts my clients and impacts myself. So it does not matter how big your following is. It does not matter if you're a big name in, the mommy sleuth zone. If there is suppression going on, you are going to get hit. And understanding how and why puts the power back, not just in the creator's hands, but in your hands as well. In the community, those that are passionate about Justin Baldoni and justice for Justin, or any other realm of justice that you're looking to have, right? When we understand media and what's going on,
I don't know if Blake would have still gone through with the whole sexual harassment of it, because technically that's separate when you think of it, the smear campaign versus the sexual harassment.
Yeah, they're not.
But I don't think Blake didn't really, she still has no evidence for the sexual harassment. That's what people are sitting and wondering. They're so, because they keep talking about the smear campaign now, they're not really touching on the SH sexual harassment part of it. And it's what happened to that? Because that's what actually was a huge part of the New York Times article. And that's why a lot of people in the beginning were on Blake's side, because when a woman comes forward and says that, you most likely would think she would be telling the truth, especially such a person in the spotlight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Stephanie Jones definitely was pot stirring big time.
Meanwhile, actress Jessica Chastain was one of the few A-list women who spoke out in defense of Lively. She tweeted, "Lake has always been kind and professional. People love tearing women down for being successful." This statement sparked an even bigger conversation about how female celebrities are often held to a different standard than their male counterparts. Even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who has worked closely with Reynolds in Red Notice, subtly weighed in by liking a tweet that read, "Joe Rogan has a history of attacking people for no reason. Maybe he should take a look in the mirror."
And it's there's a million things that contribute to that. I mean, obviously, first, just being able to look around and have the room stay. Getting good spatial audio, right? If someone speaks, then the audio needs to be 3D and come from the place where they're speaking. It's very interesting which things end up being important for this kind of creating this sense of presence and which don't. So having hands, obviously, if you're just looking around, but you can't actually move things, that breaks the illusion. But having hands, hand tracking that you can do stuff is important.
It was clear that the debate had split Hollywood in two. While some saw Rogan's comments as an unfair attack, others believed he was simply voicing thoughts that many people in the industry had been whispering about for years.
What it is, because let's be honest, Hollywood doesn't like that. They don't like us being honest. They don't like us telling you the truth. They try to to massage everything into their narratives, right? And that's what these big A-list stars, as Joe's implying, do. Ryan and Blake, as we know, we're trying to cover this up. Ari Emanuel, all these people trying to keep this up and say, oh yeah, believe the woman, believe Blake, she's telling the truth. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. So kudos to Joe and Brandon for bringing this out. It's nice to see them out there doing it for the boys. Yeah, well, doing it for all of it, I would say. Doing it for all of us. Because, again, abuse shows no gender, as we learned with Johnny Depp. Women can be bad. Men can be bad. Yeah, we should listen to everybody. If they got a complaint, if you're going to come forward and make this complaint, you want to assume they're not lying and making stuff up. But sometimes they're over-exaggerating and such, as I think is happening in this situation. So,
while some may dismiss Rogan's remarks as nothing more than gossip, there's no denying that Hollywood is first and foremost a business. Branding and public image play a crucial role in maintaining a celebrity's marketability, and many actors carefully construct their personas to appeal to audiences.
What did it become clear to you that Blake Lively was the aggressor in this now epic showdown? Was it right after the Was it when Baldoni dropped the countersuit? Was it when Brian Friedman put up the website with the 170 pages and all the text? Or was it right away when the Times wrote?
Right away. I've always had an intuition about her, and I've always had an intuition about Taylor Swift and like the branding of the nice girl stuff. And something just didn't, I went through Justin Baldoni's Instagram and he just seemed like a puppy. And I read, it just didn't add up to me that this guy was secretly just dying to talk about pornography all the time and talk about his porn addiction and wanted her to look at pornography. I'm going, this is not the Instagram feed I'm looking through. And I went back years and I was frustrated by how nice he was.
And he's doing TED Talks about, we men need to be better. I mean, he's that man bun, male apologist that it would really fly in the face.
Ryan Reynolds in particular has mastered this art. From his witty social media presence to his successful business ventures like Aviation Gin and Mint Mobile, he has built an empire that extends far beyond acting. But could this level of control over his image also mean that some of it isn't entirely genuine? Blake Lively, too, has remained incredibly private when it comes to interviews and personal details. While she portrays herself as approachable and relatable on social media, she has rarely been seen in Hollywood's inner circles. Some industry insiders argue that this is because she prefers to control her own narrative, rather than be influenced by others.
Blake Lively writes, I can send you my pass at the roof, or just read with you when we get together next week. Let me know what you prefer, smiley face. If you knew me in person longer, you'd have a sense of just how flirty and yummy the ball busting would play. It's my love language, spicy and playfully bold, never with teeth. And him serving it back to her is just as important. You don't usually see both the man and the woman with such agency and humor. Anyway, I can act it out for you next week to make sure it comes through. Or I can send it now. Let me know what you prefer. XX. To which Justin Baldoni responded, Sorry, I was just crying my eyes out as kids and family just left for another 5 weeks and it was a shit show. Heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji.
Rogan's argument isn't just about whether Blake and Ryan are a real couple. It's about how much of Hollywood's authenticity is actually a calculated illusion. And in an era where audiences are becoming more aware of celebrity PR tactics, his comments have struck a nerve.
Before we get into this, I'm going to be referring to her as B, not her name, because anytime I say her name or her husband's name, apparently my videos are now having audio glitches, thanks to her little ex-CIA agent. Her little ex-CIA agent is really trying to silence us. Too bad that won't stop me. Anywho, yesterday I posted this video about B, her hubby, and Taylor all losing tons of IG followers. And after that video where I showed that she had lost 285K in the last 30 days, it seems like yesterday was a day that a lot of people decided to hit the unfollow button as well. I checked today, so yesterday was Wednesday, the 12th. She lost 109,306 followers in 24 hours. And maybe that's why she's been on a little posting spree. I know she's promoting her other movie, but she has been posting a lot, and I feel like it has to do with the fact that she knows she's losing lots of followers. And since this feud happened, so I would say like August 2024, Blake has lost over 1.2 million IG followers. But in December, the month when she dropped the New York Times article, that is when she lost the fewest number of followers. And from December 21st to January 3rd is when she actually gained 46,000 followers. But then January happened. January is when Justin Baldoni countersued, and that is when she saw the biggest drop among followers, which was 329,000.
One of the most surprising aspects of this whole controversy is how quiet Blake and Ryan have been. Neither of them has publicly addressed Rogan's claims, and in Hollywood, silence can sometimes say more than words. If they do choose to respond, they have two options. They could take the humorous route, something Ryan Reynolds is known for by making a joke about the situation and turning it into yet another viral moment. Or they could completely ignore it and hope that the news cycle moves on.
The outing marked Blake and Ryan's first public appearance together since the beginning of their legal battle with Blake's It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni.
Meanwhile, Rogan's podcast episode continues to gain traction with more people dissecting his words and questioning just how much truth there is to them. If more industry insiders step forward with similar claims, this could be just the beginning of a much larger conversation about Hollywood's obsession with crafting perfect images. Either way, the facade of perfection surrounding Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds has been cracked. Whether it shatters completely remains to be seen.
What is your favorite reason to give or receive flowers? For me, it's being in love, but I'd love to know what it is for you.
Random.
Just because?
Flowers. Just a flower, and you're like, what? What is
Yeah,
this? My
it just
husband
makes your
does that
day.
sometimes. So it's just like a note and a flower. It's incredible.
At the heart of this controversy is a much bigger question. How much of what we see in Hollywood is real? Do celebrities like Blake and Ryan genuinely have a flawless marriage, or are they simply playing the roles that keep them relevant?
Now, do you think that Ryan Reynolds was a fan of Joe Rogan before this? And do you think this is going to really upset him? I think this is a huge blow to Ryan Reynolds' ego. Oof. Who's next to speak up against Ryan and Blake?
Joe Rogan's words may have been harsh, but they forced people to take a second look at how the entertainment industry operates. In a world where PR teams carefully curate every detail of a celebrity's public life, perhaps the only thing that's truly authentic is the fact that nothing is as it seems. So what do you think? Is Joe Rogan on to something? Or is this just another case of Hollywood drama? Let us know in the comments below.